What's up everyone? In this video I'm going to be talking about variables and how to use them in Python. So I have a repo set up right here, so I'm going to go ahead and clone this by copying the HTTP address and then going to my terminal. I'm already in the directory that I want to clone this to and pasting the address. And there's the clone, and you'll see that the folder pops up in my directory. Now I want to open that with Visual Studio Code. So I'll go to File, Open Folder, and this is Basic Variables, Open. Now I'm going to add a file, and I'll just call this variables.py. And now let's make sure that's all hooked up correct. So let's do print hello world, and then open up a terminal. And the terminal already opens to the directory you're working in, and then for me it's Python 3, and then the name of the file, so variables.py, and there we go. So we know that this is working. Okay, so real quick, I do want to mention how to do comments. There's two ways to do comments in Python. One is with the hash, and this is a single line comment, and then the other multi-line comment is done with three apostrophes or three single quotes. So this is a multi-line comment, and then you close it with the three quotes. So then if I wanted to do some code here, these comments have no effect on my code. They're purely for you to understand, or someone who's reading your code to understand what's going on. They're really just to help you. Alright, so let's dive into variables. So there are three main types of variables. There's integers, which are whole numbers. So let's say 7, 10, 15. These are all whole numbers. We also have floats, which are decimal numbers. So these could be, 7.1, 8.2, 3.14156. These are all floats. And then the other major data type is strings. And strings are characters, such as hello world. Alright, so we understand the three main data types, but now let's talk about variables. Variables in programming are what allow us to store data within the program, and this is a super powerful tool. So for an example of an integer, let's say that I want to store in the program how old I am. So I'd probably want to make a variable called age and set that equal to an integer, such as 25. You may see some people doing integers like this. They'll say x equals 25. I highly recommend you don't do that, because you don't know what this is. 25, it doesn't give you any context for what you're trying to store. So I highly recommend that you name variables exactly what their use is. Like, what are they? What is it supposed to mean? So here I understand age 25. Okay, that makes sense. So now I have age equals 25, and I can run this program right now, and all that that's going to do is store into this variable the value 25. And then to output this, so to see that it did indeed store it, I can just print the age, like that. And then for floats, let's say that I want to do height. And let's say I want my height to be 72.5. So now we would be storing 72.5 into this variable height, and we will now want to print that. So let's say print the height. And oops, I did not spell print right. There we go. So now it's printing 25, which is the age, and then printing 72.5, which is what I stored for the height. And then we have strings. So strings work as a list of characters or a string of characters. So for example, let's say name, right? And then we'd want to put this in quotes. That's how you tell the program that this is a string. So in quotes, I'm going to put PySupply. And then let's print out the name here to make sure that it's storing in the program. So down here, we'll see that the output is 25, which is the age, 72.5, which is the height, and PySupply is the name. I do want to mention one other thing here. So if I try to do print your age is, and then add the age, and then let's say that I want to do your height is, and the height, and then if I want to do your name is, and add the name. Right now, if I try to run this program, it won't even compile. It won't even let me run this because we're combining two different types. So print, it'll work with one type. So right here, when we're printing the height, it's printing a float. Or if we're printing the age, it's printing an integer. But right now, we have a string, which is this your age is, and the age, which is right now it's an integer. So we can convert these data types. And this is another really powerful tool, and you'll use this a lot actually. Converting data types allows us to use them however we need to. So if I run this program now, it'll say, 25, 72.5 PySupply. So these were just what I set my variables to. And then this string right here. Your age is 25, your height is 72.5, your name is PySupply. And you'll notice that I didn't need to put the string in front of name because name is already a string. You can put the string, convert it to a string, but it's basically just doing the exact same thing. It's really making no difference. But I just wanted to mention that in case you run into an instance where you get an error like this. A type error can only concatenate string, not int. That's because it went to the int of age and it said I can't do strings and ints all in the same print statement. Alright, so at this point, this program functions how I want it to. So I'm going to go ahead and push this code back up to my Git repo. So remember our commands for this: git add dot, which adds all the files, git commit -m, so we enter our message, our commit message. So I'm going to make this variables in Python, and then do the git push. And then we can validate that that push was successful. Well, it'll throw an error down here if it wasn't successful, but we can validate that it worked by going over to our repo in our browser and doing a refresh, and you'll see the new file that we added with our commit message. If you open up the file, there's our code. I just wanted to take a moment to say thank you. I hope this video provided value to you, as variables are extremely important in programming. They are used everywhere. I do want to mention that I'll put the link to the GitHub repo that I showed in this video, and also the link to my Discord server in the video description. The Discord server is a great place to get in contact with me if you have questions or comments, and also to meet other Python developers. Once again, thanks for watching.